Hey, what's going on, y'all? Once again, it's another episode of the Welcome to the Lou Town podcast with yours truly, Killah Threat, representing that thoroughbred ENT movement. Shouts out to Cool Cal of that unrated music group movement. Today, I want to go ahead and tackle another subject between me and you and me. Just something confidential, but this might get out to everybody, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? The more folks that catch on, go ahead and leave comments, leave your feelings, leave your concerns, and leave your thoughts, below the video. But today I want to go ahead and tackle, again, another important subject. And I want to go ahead and pick your minds on trying to see what you feel like the meaning of life is about. I could tell you what I feel like the meaning of life that we live is about, or our purpose in life. But we'll go ahead and cover that in a sec. Holla back at your boy. All right, y'all. I really do appreciate y'all staying true and staying through with your boy. It is another episode of the Welcome to the Lou Town podcast. It's your boy Killah Threat representing, you already know. And today we are going to go ahead and speak on the meaning of life. So tell me, what does the meaning of life mean to you? Because what it means to me might be something entirely different from what it means to you. I feel like we are here to be the best perception of who we should be. We should rock in the highest frequency possible. So that means if we're going to be in Christ consciousness, or we're going to live like God and be like God, in order to be like that, we have to pass a few prerequisites along the way. So a few trials and tribulations is going to come across your pathway to go ahead and test you to see if you are worthy to inherit whatever blessings are due to you. So, of course, this life, I feel like you should go ahead and be a blessing unto others. Help those as much as you can possible. Be made aware while you are being used. Try to have some type of discernment where you will not be misused, because people like to take kindness for weakness. Remember, we are inherently in a wicked world. So people might not always move as genuinely or as transparent as they should be, So just to give you the definition that I looked up on the Webster's Dictionary real quick, you know what I'm saying? You know how I do. The definition for the meaning of life is a concept of an individual's life or existence in general having a significance or a philosophical point. So like I said, it just went back to basically what I was just saying. I feel like the meaning of life is philosophically to go ahead and be the best version of yourself so you can be a blessing to other people. So I know on a previous episode I was saying as long as you go ahead and keep that open communication open with God, you can go ahead and have God flow through you where it can go ahead and trickle down, and other people below you like kids, friends, family, loved ones, even strangers can go ahead and reap the benefits, you know what I'm saying, of your godhood in a sense. But yeah, let's go ahead and discuss the 8 rules for having a better life in life that we live. So the first rule let's tackle is never hate. You never want to be the one within any circle, within any circumstance, being a hater. That comes from a bad, terrible place. When you actually hate somebody, hate is a wrong word. You can dislike somebody, you can go ahead and try to maneuver and work your way around somebody, but to absolutely positively hate somebody, that does not come from a place of godliness or righteousness. It comes from a place of trauma, place of hurt. Sometimes it comes from a place of selfishness and ignorance. So you never want to get caught in that box of hating anything or hating anybody, because usually when you hate someone, something, or somebody, that means it's taking all that free rent in your head 24/7, 365. And why would you want to do that? Why would you want to go ahead and give a loser that type of power over you? Makes entirely no sense. Completely asinine. So, rule number 1, never hate. Rule number 2, don't worry about nothing. Just as long as you have a mustard seed of faith, you'll be able to go ahead and get through anything, I promise you. The outcome ain't gonna be how you want, when you want, but it's gonna come just in time, the way that God see fit or the higher power see fits. So you don't have to worry about anything. Go ahead and leave all your stresses, all your worries. Go ahead and leave that at the feet of the higher power. You know what I'm saying? That way you can go ahead and relieve yourself of stress. And you can lead a life of love and prosperity and peace. Just have a peace of mind just off that alone. Also, you want to go ahead and just live simply. Live simply just to go ahead and enjoy life. Enjoy the better things of life. Think about all the blessings and count your blessings that God has given you, that you have experienced through different loved ones, no matter if it's your parents, your uncles, aunties, cousins, grandmother, grandfather, elders of the neighborhood, elders of the church, or even OGs on the block or in the neighborhood that might have showed you good things in that state of mind, within that section, within that spectrum. Excuse me, got a little gas going on, but we gonna get through it. But yeah, everybody has God within them, so you'll see traces of God in those who have God and keep an open communication with God to be God-like. The fourth rule for a better life will be just to expect a little. Don't try to expect too much when you have high expectations. High expectations can go ahead and breed room for disappointment. You don't ever want to breed room or create room or a space for disappointment. Always strive to be your best. Always think at the highest level where it is crazy. But sometimes when you think at that high level, that's how you manifest things to come into motion. Even though you can't manifest things solely by yourself, it's most definitely going to take God to go ahead and make any play or any blessing happen within your personal life in the present and for the future. But prayer is like a way of manifestation. When you pray to God through the name of Jesus, you know what I'm saying? Jesus is the middleman that go ahead and gets the ball, then carries the ball and get it to the throne. You know what I'm saying? Like, touchdown, you dig what I mean? And he let God know what the play is. And that is what it is. So make sure you expect a little, but you will get a lot by expecting a little. So it's a way of being humble. Just stay humble. Words of Kendrick Lamar. But yeah, another rule will be go ahead and give a lot. So whatever you can give, whatever is placed on your heart to give out, go ahead and give it out to those that are in need. Even though you can't get into heaven by good deeds alone, it is noteworthy, you know what I'm saying? Like honorable mention that you were at least a good person and was good-hearted. Just be good-hearted just because it's the right thing to do, genuinely. Don't just be good-hearted because you think it's going to win you a spot in heaven, because that's just not how it goes. That's not how God programmed it to be. But yeah, another rule for a better life is to always smile. Through your downs, through your trauma, through the worst part of your life, if you smile, it will make you feel better. I remember when I was doing customer service, and no matter what, when you're on the phone with a person, if you smile while you talk, the person on the receiving end can hear the smile through the conversation. So they can hear if you have an attitude, or hear if you're frowned up, or if you're mad or grumpy. If you smile, it can absolutely automatically make your voice sound cheery. Cheer yourself up in a sense. So always smile, especially for those, who might not have a good grade of teeth. You might as well smile while you still have the teeth in your mouth. Appreciate what you got while you have it. But yeah, smile. The next rule, live with love. It should have been somebody in your life, I would think personally, that showed you what love is. When we all went to church, the first thing we learned, besides the Son of God dying for our sins, is that God is love. So now you got to remember that God is the Father. So you already know a father's love is different from a mother's love. The mother's love is nurturing. The father's love is through correction and disciplinary action, if it comes down to be that way. So God, he runs that way. He runs it like that. Just like men, we are made in the image of God. So if we're supposed to lead and provide and protect and guide, we have to have guidelines, boundaries, and provisions that have to be made. You know what I'm saying? To go ahead and keep everything at peace or intact like it's supposed to be at all times. So Yeah, most definitely shout out to the Father for that, for holding everything down and showing grace. Just because, through this life that we try to learn and understand everything in, we don't do everything right, even though we think that it might be right, based on our feelings or based on our emotions or based on situational caveats that might happen. But yeah, most definitely always smile, always live with love. When you live with love, you can give love and receive love back. And then always the final rule, the 8th rule to having a better life, in my humble opinion, is just to be with God. Keep that open communication up. Y'all should be like homeboys, father and son relationship. He already know you. The job is for you to get to know him. You know what I'm saying? No matter how you do it, no matter how you get the word out, no matter how you get the kingdom of the word out. You know what I'm saying? God done used a lot of people, killers, rapists, all type of stuff in the Bible, in the Old Testament, to carry out his word. Saul used to be one way, changed into Paul. It's miraculous. All the 12 disciples, you know what I'm saying, were criminals of some point in some way in their life. And then when they went on and actually found and discovered the Messiah, you know what I'm saying, is the living Son of God, things started to clear up for them as they asked many questions and they seen all the miracles and so on and so forth, which gave them meaning and purpose in their life to go ahead and spread the gospel. So let's go ahead and tackle some other concepts. Like, I was doing some research and I came up on this Monty Python movie called The Meaning of Life, right? And as I was watching a movie, I see that it was explaining like the 7 different parts of life, which, just to break it down, to keep a long story short, it just broke down the parts. Like, we already know the first part of life is birth. Then the next part of life after that is growing up. So I take it that it just takes you through your childhood to your adolescence, like your preteens and teenage years, to you actually being a young adult once you graduate out of high school, entering the college life, the military life, or you enter into business, just a professional life all in general after you get out of high school. So it shows that as another part of life. War is another part of life. I don't think it would necessarily be like you have to go out and battle and be fighting for the armed forces on the behalf of the U.S. or anything like that, but just everyday war. It could be war for some just to get up out of bed, to go ahead and start their morning, get dressed and go to work. It can go ahead and be war just for a person just to deal with a unsightly or unruly child. It might be war for an individual that might be going through the justice system that's trying to do right, but it just seems that the police just keep riding their back. It just seems like trouble just keep finding them while they trying to keep their nose clean. It could just be a war where you might be warring with friends, or warring with your wife, or warring with your husband, or warring with it. It's a constant war, constant things that be thrown within our reality that we have to deal with every day. But we can go ahead and maneuver through it through the help of, the higher power. If you know, you know. But yeah, and then also another part that it went through, just to go through these parts real quick, is middle age, which will be pretty much my age. Once you reach like your mid 30s to mid 40s, be like your middle age, even 50. You know what I'm saying? People will say that you're middle aged by then, just because of the span of life that we are promised. Like Eddie Murphy said in that one movie, you're only promised 75 summers. That's it. 75 years. You only got 75 summers a year to live. Excuse me. So if you lived half of the 75, if you my age and you already 40 plus, you dig what I'm saying? Now you got some things to think about, because within the next 15 to 25 years, you might be up and out of here. So, oh man, it's just crazy when you go ahead and think about life. But sometimes you have to think about these things and don't freak out. But it is things to think about. Because if you're not, as far as being connected to the source, if you don't have any purpose in your life, if you don't have no relationship with the higher power, no matter what form or background that you come from, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be a dark, long road that you're going to be headed down, for sure. which they also had other parts in the movie too. On the Monty Python, the Meaning of Life movie, they had one part that was about organ transplants, which that's very real, especially in our community, where people might need kidneys if they have renal failure. People might have bad liver issues, bad small intestine, large intestine, colon issues, prostate issues. So you might need that surgical part. That's a big part of people's life, because that's life changing, life altering, when you have to go under the knife. So I hope and pray that everybody that's seeing this, if you've been under the knife, hopefully you had a speedy recovery. For those who might need or are planning to go under the knife in the future, we'll just go ahead and just keep the prayers out for you. You already know how we do. But the final stages of life, as we all know, will be old age. So once you're like in your golden years, like in your 60s, 70s, you know what I'm saying, 80s, now you're in the golden era of your life. Should be entering retirement and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Once you retire, you can go ahead and enjoy the family, go ahead and knock out things that's on your bucket list. Maybe it's going to visit Egypt, maybe it's jumping out of a plane, maybe it's sub diving in the Mediterranean, the Mariana Trench, or whatever it's called, the deepest part of the ocean. Maybe you want to go in a submersible and just go down and then see the alien-like creatures underneath the ocean. But either way, as you go through this journey of life, just know, make sure you just know that it's about self-discovery. So while you go through, you learn yourself, you learn what you like, what you dislike, what your triggers are, how to deal with your trauma, how to have a connection and communicate with the higher source, how to keep peace and create peace, and how to go ahead and deflect evil and anything else that might seem like it's coming from a bad place. All about self-discovery, being self-aware of anything and everything that might tickle your Elmo, for the lack of a better analogy. It's also about growth, learning how to grow and mature and be able to know the pros and cons of every decision that you make, because you are free to make the choices that you make, but you are not free to choose the consequence that comes with the good or the bad choices that you make. So, and you will learn that if you haven't matured and evolved, but that comes with growth. And then the last thing, you just go through the journey with the connection, and we all form purpose by who we connect with, the people that we run into. Like, I have friends that I met and I've known since the 6th grade that I still talk to very close. We might not talk to each other every day, every week, or every month, but just know that the love is there, because it's 20 plus years that solidified the honor, the respect, and the commitment. You know what I'm saying? The love that we all have within my brotherhood. Shouts out to the Bread Gang. But we most definitely have to have a certain connection to create a purpose, to feel like we have a purpose in this life. So you always can evolve and learn more and become more just by having a purpose alone. But let me know what you think that the meaning of life is, because I know some people think the life is about evolution, where you can evolve into the person that you are. Some people think it's about divine purpose, which is just spreading the gospel, like all the prophets did, regarding what Jesus was putting down and laying down. Shout out to the Messiah, you know what I'm saying? What he was putting down and laying down. Some people feel like that's the purpose for their life. Some people feel like their purpose could be a curse breaker. Like instead of like I was trying to do, and like a lot of people try to do, one curse can be that all the people in the family might not be able to stay in one marriage or have like a neutral or a nuclear family. So my thing was, I wanted to go ahead and break the curse and just have one nuclear family under one roof, no blended family, so on and so forth. Sometimes that can be met, but that takes two people to make that work. So other people might think it could be just conscious expansion. We are here, we are reincarnated because we didn't learn something from the past life. We didn't learn something from the past life. So now we are here once again with a different set of parents, might be of a different culture, background, lifestyle, to go ahead and tackle and learn the things that we were supposed to learn that we may have missed in the previous life. We just know we're just here to live it. We're here to experience it. And while we are here to live and experience it, let's try to figure out the meaning. Once we know the meaning, let's capitalize and execute on the meaning. So your meaning here can have purpose. You dig what I'm saying? So again, just let us know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think if there's any final thoughts that I want to say for this podcast before I go ahead and end it. Oh yeah, I gotta remember the last, cause it just came to mind too, and I'm glad that this just came to mind. The meaning of life can also mean conscious expansion. So when you're consciously expanding yourself, you will have to go ahead and tackle what people call in the spiritual world the 7 chakras. If you go ahead and balance out all the 7 chakras, then that'll be a way that you can go ahead and get closer to the higher power as well. If you don't know what those 7 chakras are, people, you got your root chakra, you got your sacral chakra, you got your solar plexus, you got your heart chakra, you got your throat chakra, you have your third eye, and then you have your crown chakra, you know. So you go ahead and get all 7 of those balanced, and then you'll be all to the G. But once again, this is another episode of the Welcome to the Lou Town podcast, hosted by yours truly, Killah Threat. If you haven't, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment below the video. Make sure you go ahead and share the content too with your family members, your homeboys, your homegirls, your woes, your twins, your foes, whatever. Just because I want to get everybody's input on what they feel like this is. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the meaning of life, because everybody experiences the life different, and everybody has good things to say, bad things to say. I want to hear it all. But yeah, if you haven't, make sure that you check out my new album, The Age of Aquarius, which is just Age of Aquarius. It's released out everywhere on every platform. You can go ahead and check out the singles as well that's on Age of Aquarius. The first single being The Chronicle, with a video that's also shot by Kyle Alexander. And then the next single after that is Sad But True, featuring Grim Giuliani, which there's a video out there that's shot by Kyle Alexander as well. Shout out to Kyle. And then the new single that has recently been put out about a week or so now, go ahead and check it out everywhere. It is called Billionaire Mind State by me and the co-host Cool Cal of Unrated Music Group. But if you haven't, please just like the video and everything that I said once before. But until next time, keep your head up, stay cool.